Good morning, ma'am. This is Christian Teddy M. Sinasap, and this is my video discussion about the chapter 3, the light and the camera. So let's start. For a police photographer to take consistently successful photographs, he must understand the basic optical principle underlying how a camera works. The type of lens and lighting equipment to utilize the film speed or digital setting to use in a particular situation, as well as the advantages and drawbacks of different camera formats. As a police photographer, we must need to understand, or we must need the knowledge on how camera works, and ng part ng camera syempre, at syempre ang mga parte ng ang parte ng isang camera, halimbawa na diyan ay ang lens, at ang isa sa pinaka-importante din ay ang pagkuha ng isang magandang lighting para sa magandang resulta ng ating pagkuha ng litrato. Dahil una pa lang, kung di natin alam kung ano ang camera or paano natin gamitin ang isang camera, bakit pa tayo magiging isang police photographer kung di pala natin yan alam. Then by becoming familiar with the controls on the camera, the photographer will be more able to concentrate on the position and lighting of each photograph. Light is very essence and the basic substance of photography. With the word very essence, ito ang isa sa pinakamahalaga na dapat alam at sinasaulo natin. Kasi kung alam naman natin na ang isang magandang lighting ang nagpapaganda ng isang litrato, pagkuha ng isang litrato. Dahil kasi kahit anong ganda ng view ng pagkuha mo ng litrato, pero wala kang magandang lighting, wala pa rin. It is important to understand how light behaves and how lens form it into images in order to gain a broader view of possibilities of photograph. We tend to take light for granted even when it is a light that enables us to view the world through our eyes. Hindi natin pinapahalagan yung light. Basta kuha ng camera. Hindi nila alam na isa sa nagpapaganda ng pagkuha nila ng litrato ay ang ilaw, magandang ilaw, ang light. Yes, kasi syempre, sino bang mag-take ng picture sa isang madilim na lugar? Wala. Kasi hindi maganda yung pagkuha ng isang litrato pag ganun. Light is what enables our eyes to see. Just as sound enables our eyes to hear, and flavor enables our tongue to taste. So meron talaga siyang purpose ang light. Ang light ang nagbibigay ng parang siya ang nagbibigay ng kahulugan para sa ating mata na makakita. Katulad ng isang sound. Ang sound ang nagbibigay ng kahulugan para ang ating tenga makarinig. Kasama na dyan yung pagkain or ang taste, ang lasa, ang nagbibigay kahulugan para ang ating dila ay makatikim or makapanlasa. According to Langford, Fox and Smith in 2010, in Langford Basic Photography, visible light is defined as a stream of energy radiating away from the sun or similar radiant source with the four important characteristics. Number 1. Light behaves as if it moves in waves, like ripples crossing the surface of water. Variation in wavelength give our eyes the sensation of different colors. Dito pa lang sa number 1, in-explain na kung gaano kahalaga yung light. Ang light ang nagbibigay sa atin ng or ang light ang nagpapatikim ng ating mata kung gaano kaganda ang isang litrato with the different colors. Number 2. Light travels in a straight line within an uniform substance or medium. This can be seen in light beams and shafts of sunlight and the way of shadow fall. Number 3. Light moves at great speed, approximately 300,000 kilometers or 186,000 miles per second through the vacuum of space. It moves less fast in air and slightly slower still in denser substance such as water of glass. So smooth kaya ang ng light sa ang role ng light sa pagkuha natin ng isang litrato. Number 4. Light also behaves as if it consists of energy particles or protons. These bleached dyes cause chemical changes in films and electronic response in digital camera sensors. The more intense the light, the more protons it contains. John Hedgecoe in 2005 explained the path of light in photography by with the subject and light source. John Hedgecoe explained the path of light. Explain ni John Hedgecoe yung proseso ng isang light o isang ilaw kung paano ito ginagamit ng camera para makalika at makakuha ng isang magandang litrato na nagsimula sa isang subject at isang light source kung saan galing yung ilaw. Light rays reflected from the subject of the photo are transmitted through a glass lens at the front of the camera to form a latent image of a film. A lens consists of a convex disc of ground and polished glass that reflects the widening lights rays traveling away from every point of the subject. Light is prevented from reaching the film by the shutter until your chosen moment of exposure, the point of which the lens focuses these rays. The focal plane coincides with the position of the film when the lens is correctly focused. The focal plane is where the rays of light refracted by the lens converge to form a sharp, upside-down image. Light traveling from different distance from the camera needs varying degrees of refraction to focus at the focal plane. So, a focusing mechanism moves the lens towards or away from the position of the film, and focal plane coincides when the lens is correctly focused. The amount of exposure to light is most often controlled by a combination of time the shutter is open, also known as the shutter speed, and the diameter of the light beam passing through the lens, and that also known as the aperture. The shutter speed and the aperture are controls that influence the visual result. Shutter time alters away shutter time alters the way movement is recorded, blurred or frozen, while lens aperture alters the depth of subject that is known in focus at one time, or also known as depth of field. These controls will be explained further in this chapter. We have the two main sources of light. Number one is the natural light, and the number two is artificial light. Natural light, this refers to the daylight coming from the sun, which is generally utilized for outdoor photography, or light that comes to existence without the intervention of man. Light produced by the sun, including direct sunlight, the soft light in the shadow, light that bounces off the reflected surface, moonlight reflected from the sun, and starlight are all sources of natural light. If we call natural light, pag sinabi natin natural light, ito yung light na galing from the sun. This from the sun. It's either direct sunlight, pwede din siya moonlight reflected from the sun, pwede siya reflective light galing off reflective surface, yung reflective lang ng mga lights. Isa yun sa mga na belong sa natural light. Daylight photography depends as much on the quality of the daylight as its strength. The quality of daylight is a combination of contrast and color, temperature, or color of the day. In-explain dito na nakadepende yung pagkuha mo ng isang litrato kung maganda ang light, na kung maganda yung light or mas strength yung light, mas maganda yung pagkuha natin ng litrato, mas ma-emphasize yung color, yung magandang view ng kinuhaan mo ng litrato, mas ma-emphasize yun. Natural light can be classified according to its intensity. Number 1, bright light. Bright light, a lighting condition wherein object in open space cast a deep on uniform shadow. In bright light, the subject will produce strong shadow because the source of light is not covered by clouds. In black and white photography, the object or subject looks contrastly. Pag sa bright light, nagpo-produce siya ng isang strong shadow dahil di siya natatabunan ng ulap. Kung mas strong or strength yung light or sunlight na meron. Number 2 is hazy light, a lighting condition wherein the object in open space cast a transparent shadow. Kung sa bright light is uniform shadow, sa hazy light naman ay ang transparent shadow. In hazy light, the sun is covered by the clouds and shadows. Kung sa bright light, yung sinabi ko na di siya natatabunan ng ulap, sa hazy light naman dito covered by shadows ang light. In hazy light, the sun is covered by the clouds and shadow appears bluish because of the decrease of light. Nag-decrease yung light, kung syempre kung matabunan ang light, ang source ng light kung natatabunan ng ulap, syempre mawawala yung mawawala yung liwanag or yung light natin, at meron tendency na yung pagkuha natin ng litrato ay di na siya gaano kaganda kasi ang sinabi ito bluish or blurry because of the decrease of the light falling on the subject in open space. The shadow cast is transparent to the eye and more details are visible under the lighting condition than in light bright sunlight. When the sunlight is obscured by light clouds, the intensity of the direct light falling on the subject in open space is decreased. In effect, the light coming from the sky becomes stronger, that the shadow appears more bluish than in bright sunlight. Number 3 is the what we call dull light. A lighting condition wherein the object in open space casts no shadow. In dull sunlight, the sun is totally covered by thick clouds. Kung sa hazy light, natatabunan lang siya ng natatabunan lang siya ng ulap. Sa dull light is thick or thick yung clouds or yung ulap na naka-cover sa kanya. So expected na dark, madilim yung resulta ng pagkuha ng isang litrato. No shadows are formed due to the uniform illumination of light around the object in open space. This is the second main source of light, the artificial light. This refers to man-made source of light used or utilized from indoor photography to align the adverse lighting condition. It is also utilized to align the hazy or dull light in outdoor photography. Sa artificial light naman, with the word artificials, ito ay ang ilaw na gawa ng mga tao lang, man-made. Katulad ng kung may pictorial sa loob, indoor, sa loob ng bahay, sa loob ng isang facility or building. Syempre, pag nasa loob, di masyadong nasisilawan ng natural light or daylight na coming from the sun kasi nasa loob. So, artificial light ang ginagamit ng ibang tao para yung object or subject na kinukunan nila ng litrato is maliwanag or maganda pa rin. Katulad ng halimbawa na dyan ay ang ilaw, bulb o ang ilaw ginagamit nila upang yung subject nila is maging mas maliwalas or maliwanag. This includes all non-natural sources such as conditioned light from incandescent and fluorescent light bulbs. Ito yung sinasabi ko na artificial light, yung mga bulbs, fluorescent bulb lights, electronic flashes, and studio strobes. In artificial light, we have these sources of artificial light. We have two: the continuous duration and the short duration. Continuous duration, with the word continuous. So ang duration ng light na ito is tuloy-tuloy or mahaba yung duration niya. Halimbawa na niyan ay ang fluorescent lamps, incandescent lamps or tungsten light, photoflood lamps, infrared lamp, and ultraviolet lamp. Ito yung mga halimbawa ng continuous duration na artificial light. And the second is short duration. With the word short duration, di siya ginagamit siya pero di siya tumatagal ng gaano katagal. Di siya tumatagal katulad ng continuous duration na artificial light. Short duration, halimbawa niyan ay ang flash bulbs, or also known as chemical flash lamp, flash cubes, flash bar, X cube, and electronic flash. And I believe this is all for my video discussion. Thank you so much for lending your time watching this.